VanCam. This is VanCam you waited for.
Let me get this right, Steve. You fingered Michelle Keegan behind Abdul's in Levenshulme last year.
I can still smell her on my fingers.
Fuck off! How are you doing, everybody? My name is Kev Ashford. You're very welcome to this week's edition of the ManUtd VanCam. Hope everybody is well. Big, massive news this week is that Kev on Saturday will be getting his hair cut. Can't wait, man. The last time I had it cut was in February. It come out online. Bruno Barbers in Eton Moor. Paul, thank you very much. I got the email and all that booked in. I think it's 11:20. Eton Moor Bruno Barbers on Saturday. Cannot wait. And I'm supposing, actually, if there's any Liverpool or Man City fans that have ever wanted to assassinate me, they know exactly where I'm going to be at that time of day this Saturday. So not really a great move, that was it. Anyway, Manchester United on an absolute roll since I last spoke to you. We're winning games, we're not conceding goals. It does seem that Roy Keane's comments during half-time against Tottenham have given us the kick up the arse that we needed. Harry Maguire looks back to some kind of best. David De Gea's stopped making mistakes for a few games. Hopefully I've not gone and cursed that. But coming up in this week's show, we've got loads, so there's no need to switch over to any other channel, and that is not a threat. We have got the big VanCam debate coming up first of all, where we're going to be asking the question, was Roy Keane correct in his criticism of David De Gea? I personally thought it was a bit brutal, the fact, you know, I'd kick him up the arse and all that, he's a nonsense and all that, but that's Roy Keane for you. That's what you get, his box office. Sometimes he gets a bit excited, a bit like myself. We all get a bit excited from now. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying now. And then in the next bit, we go into a thing called CockStroker of the Week. We'll then do Tweet of the Week. Honour the good tweeters out there, the people that put good shit into Kev's timeline. And then we're not going to end with your comments, but I'll end with a little, the warm down or something like that anyway. But I hope you're well. And hello to all the new subscribers. I had a little stint on the football terrace after the Norwich match, which gained me about 10 subscribers. So Kev is in a right good mood. But hello to all the regulars as well. You'll all be watching, so the big thumbs up from Kev. There's too many to go through and it would make it really boring as a show. But anyway, onwards and upwards, we might as well just fly straight into the big VanCam debate. I've already told you what it's on, and if you want to get involved in the poll, you go onto the community tab on the ManUtd VanCam page, click on that, and I'll already have it all there for you. Click of a button, yes or no, do you agree with Roy Keane and his comments about David De Gea during that Tottenham Man United match? And it's done. And then I get a percentage that I can bring next week, and we see who's right and who's wrong, what the VanCamily actually think. So let's get this show started. Nice one. Pin back your ears, crack open the beers, and let's talk some football. And there'll be no mention of them Scouse bastards winning the league, but there will be some Scouse involvement in this week's CockStroker of the Week. But first, cue the main man. It's time for the big VanCam debate.
The big VanCam debate!
If anyone's ever wondered who that fine specimen of a man is in the ManUtd VanCam T-shirt is, it's the legend himself, Sir John Vallandigham. Hope you're well, mate, if you're watching, and your family. This is the big VanCam debate. Now, the last time we did this, there's been loads of games since then, so I'm going to run through it very quickly. It was prior to the Tottenham match, and I threw it out there saying, should Paul Pogba start? Would you start Paul Pogba? Now, at that time, I was arguing the fact and saying, listen, McTominay, Fred, Matic and all that, everybody's been doing their part in this team, and Pogba has to work his way back into it. 62% of the vote, and this is now in the community section of the VanCam page because YouTube took away the poll feature because nobody used it. Yes, Kev did. But loads of you voted on that. 62% of you said that he should have started against Tottenham. He come off the bench, had an instant impact and did really well. I'm glad to see that, man. It's about time that he started shining for Man United. All we ever hear is all these bollocks about the World Cup winner, and I'm not asked what he does for France. Just do it in the red shirt of Man United. So 62% of you said that he should have started. So thanks everyone for voting. Right, on to this week's question. Okay, so we cast our minds back to the Tottenham v Man United game, and at half-time, Roy, it's a nonsense, Keane absolutely slammed Harry Maguire and David De Gea. Now, I want to touch on David De Gea. David De Gea has made mistakes this season for Man United. They do seem to have crept into his game. But I would argue the fact that David De Gea is the first name on the team sheet, and he's probably got us a lot more points than what we should have down the years. He's literally kept us in games, you know, end of the game, tipping the ball over the bar and all that, earning his dough and all that stuff, what he should be doing basically. But it was Roy Keane's comment that, you know, if I was in the changing rooms, I'd just smash him in the face and kick him up the hole, you know, and all that shit. And he really goes to town, Keane. And I think it was kind of funny. I think a lot of us thought it was very, very harsh on De Gea. Yes, he made a mistake. But again, when you think what he's done for United, and I still rate him as one, if not the best goalkeeper in the world. So with all this in mind, this week's Big VanCam debate, is Roy Keane right about De Gea? So the comments that he said he's nowhere near the best goalkeeper in the world. He's the most overrated goalkeeper. And yeah, he deserved a kick up the hole. Would have left him off the bus, let him walk back to Manchester and all that. You know, this is Roy Keane. Let's not forget he left Manchester United in very, very, you know, from his point of view, bitter circumstances. Yeah, he was booted out of Old Trafford. He didn't want to leave at that time. He was basically told, you know, there's the plank, walk it sunshine, and off you jump, and which he would have turned around and went, it's a nonsense, and Fergie would have went, go on. Well, after everything he did for United, listen, he was a fantastic servant for Man United. I'm certainly not slagging Roy Keane off. I'm just asking the question this week, do you agree that with Roy Keane's comments about David De Gea, that he's overrated? What you have to do now, usually there was a poll up here, but you need to click into the ManUtd VanCam YouTube page. You go to community, yeah? Talk you through this. Click on that and it'll already be there for you. It'll have the question and everything. You go yes or no, and there is no sitting up on that fence. You know what happens if you sit on the fence? You get splinters in your ass. Have you ever tried picking splinters out your own ass? It's very, very tricky. You have to phone a friend. That's what my mate Steve had to do. Make a decision. I'll give you the poll result next week. Roy Keane, was he right about his comments on David De Gea?
That De Gea, the most overrated goalkeeper. No, Patrice, the most overrated goalkeeper I've seen in a long, long time. Did he do it?
For Big VanCam Debate!
Make sure you cast your vote for the Big VanCam debate. Next up, we all know weapons of mass confusion. Arseholes, gobshites, dickheads, wankers, cockstrokers. That's what it is. If you've been a bellend this week, there's a chance you could have made Kev's top 5 this week. So watch your back and don't go about being an absolute gobshite. Here we go. It's Cockstroker of the Week. Cockstroker of the Week. A very warm welcome to Cockstroker of the Week. This week I've got 5 nominations to throw at you, and there can only be one winner of the prestigious Cockstroker of the Week. Coming in at number 5, how many weapons can you fit in one room? I'm going to tell you, it's these shower and knobheads from AFTV. Arsenal Fan TV. So this is their new spin on watching matches together. Let's get the lads round. Let's keep 2 meters apart though as well, because we've got to socially distance and all that. But who exactly celebrates a goal like this? It's so fake. It's just pure horseshit. They're all dancing round. They're breaking social distancing rules as well. And it just doesn't sit well with me. I mean, who celebrates a goal like this? These dickheads, that's who. Number 4, It's this Scouse bellend, yeah, ex-Liverpool Scouse knobhead Graham Souness, purely for saying that Aaron Wan-Bissaka has not been worth or lived up to his £50 million tag that Man United paid for him. And 3 or 4 seasons ago, Man City splashed 50 million on Kyle Walker. He was the bee's knees. This is the real deal, man. And we paid that in today's market for the best English right back in the country. And that's exactly what it is. Stop pointing. I'm going for it again. It must be a disease or something. It's a tick. He's been the best right back in the country, bar none. Number 3, you've just won your first title for 30 years. It's your first ever Premier League. How are you going to celebrate? Get the Forciere started up, lad. We're going down to Old Trafford. What? What are you on about? You filthy, rotten Scouse bastards. They jump in a car. There was loads of people doing this. They make the 40-mile journey across to the beautiful sunny Manchester to go to Old Trafford, the theatre of dreams, with Liverpool flags saying champions, to get selfies in front of our ground. Would you not go to your own ground? It's a good job that ex-Red Army General Tony O'Neill just happened to be walking by at this time, and he gave him a right good talking to. Yeah, you thieving Scouse bastards. Get home, get away from here. It's exactly what they deserve. Down with that kind of shit.
Yes, thieving bastards!
Number 2. Again, I reiterate my point. You've just won your first title in 30 years. You go out and celebrate in your hometown of Liverpool. What are you going to do? You're obviously going to have an absolute ruckus between yourselves. Let's fight each other, lad. Come on, you want some? You're supposed to be celebrating, man. There's eyes getting gouged out. Just all mayhem breaking out. But, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, who are they going to blame it on? It wasn't Liverpool fans, was it? Probably be Chelsea fans getting the blame. Number 1 CockStroker of the week. Liverpool won the league. And yes, it hit home. We've been expecting it for ages. We've known since Christmas they were going to win it. But when the news was actually confirmed, Chelsea beating Man City, it did sink in. Staying away from social media and all that. That wasn't until the day after I thought, I'll just creep on, see what's going on. And I get on there. And next minute we've got a Liverpool fan in a red mankini climbing up a ladder to put a flag on top of a light on a council estate, obviously. What could possibly go wrong? The scenes are set, the fans are all singing Championes and all that, and I'm thinking, yeah, it's alright. So, and that wasn't until he fell, and he absolutely deserved to fall. Because what an absolute shithouse move to make. The mankini, look at me, I'm proper funny, me, I'm off my tits. Yeah, mate. Ha! So he's number 1, and that's CockStroker of the week. CockStroker of the week. A Liverpool fan in a mankini falling from a ladder on a council estate in Liverpool. CockStroker of the week. Recipe for disaster. Just don't be a dickhead. Right, next up we're going to do tweet of the week. I found 3 tweets that brought a smile to my face whilst I was blazing. Whilst I was searching the internet. I suppose I could say blazing, that sound good. Whilst I was blazing the internet, and I found 3 tweets that I thought have made up this week's tweet of the week. So enjoy, for your pleasure. It's time for tweet of the week. This is tweet of the week. 3 tweets that caught my eye. I bring them to you, and that is the story, man. Number 3 comes a tweet from Declan Rice. Declan Rice come out and said, wait, I thought this was what VAR was brought in for, blatantly over the line. So he's arguing about some kind of decision that went against him. Now, the tweet of the week, number 3, wasn't that. It was the reply to it from Saints fan at JohnnyB77 on the old Twitter. He replied, these things happen, Deco. Sometimes it's in, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you're Irish, sometimes you're English. Sure, you know yourself. Absolute corker if you don't know what I'm on about. Obviously, Declan Rice represented Ireland, had the shirt on, sung the national anthem, put his hand on his chest, even tweeted up one time, up the Ra. So he was well into the Irish scene and all that, you know, drinking Guinness, shamrock tattoo and all that shit. Typical stereotypes and all that. And then he decided, I'll go and play for England, which, if you play for Ireland, it's gonna proper piss you off, the fans. And he did that. So number 3 is the reply. Absolute corker, man. Sometimes you're Irish, sometimes you're English. Number 2 goes to Stephen Howson of Stretford Paddock and / Full-Time Devils. This was because Rohit Shukla, which I've just got the pronunciation absolutely bob on there, thought he was doing a bit of fishing. He's just being a grade A absolute scouse bellend and come out with a picture of the iPhone 4 and put, last time Man U won the league, people were still using the iPhone 7, thought it was hilarious, probably the only person who did, and a shitload of Liverpool fans, but forget about them, absolute gobshites. But it was the reply from Howson that simply said, you're a Liverpool fan. Last time you won the league, the iPhone was 17 years away from being invented. It's a low blow, it's an absolute classic. Absolutely loving that work. And there was another one that didn't go unnoticed from Damien Pearce, who actually jumped in on it as well and said, Liverpool fans using flares last night. Ironically, what you were wearing the last time you won it. Oh, have a bit of that, you Scouse bellends. There can only be one tweet of the week, and I've saved the best till last. It comes from Pablo. Yes, Pablo on Twitter. Now, sometimes you get a news feed, it tells you what's happening and stuff. You get some stories depending on what trends you follow and the shit that you tweet about. So mine will be about football and drinking and stuff. It's each to their own, innit, yeah? But Pablo's come up and it said, what's happening? At the top, it said, Liverpool are champions of England. Didn't do that, did yeah, whatever. But underneath it, it said, how the virus was won. Another story from the New York Times. But Pablo put in, bit harsh from the New York Times. Oh, we need something to laugh about, I tell you, because these are dark times with them dickheads winning the league. That's Tweet of the Week. Over and out till the next week.
That was Tweet of the Week. Ow!
So there you go with Tweet of the Week. That sadly brings us right towards the end of ManUtd VanCam. There'll be no comment section this week, but I'll be doing your comments next week, so make sure you drop in a comment. So a quick recap, we've done the BIG VanCam Debate. Is David De Gea overrated? You need to go on the ManUtd VanCam YouTube channel, which you're already on now. Click on the community tab. The question will be there for you. It's all set up, the poll. You vote yes or no. No sitting on the fence, you shithouses. Next in was CockStroker of the Week, which was well deserved. A Liverpool fan in a mankini. Need I say more? No. And then we did Tweet of the Week, which we've just done. The warm down, I'm looking towards the weekend. Man United, I can see nothing other than 3 points. Of course, I'm going to say that with a red tinted specs on. But in all seriousness, I also want to mention one player in particular who's been absolutely sensational since signing for Man United. Bruno. Came from Sporting like Cristiano. He plays left, he plays right, makes defences look shite. He's a Portuguese magnifico. I knew I'd forget the song there, but I come through. Bruno Fernandes. I was speaking to a mate the other day and I said I cannot remember a player who has influenced this team and brought such creativity in that since the time that Eric Cantona made that switch from Leeds. I have to do that every time I mention Leeds. Yeah, I think Bruno Fernandes has been absolutely mint, and obviously it's not just me that's saying it, we can all see he's infectious, tenacious, the work that he's brought. It's like everybody around Bruno Fernandes has upped their game. We need to get to his level. I like the fact that he drives a Mini to the training ground. People taking the piss, look at him, but he's just a down-to-earth guy. There's no gimmicks, there's no image shit going on, haircuts, fashion. You know, he's just Bruno Fernandes, and he's absolutely fucking mint, and he's Man United's. He's our player. We get to watch this greatness week in, week out. So if you've got something to say about Bruno Fernandes, make sure you put it in the comments section. If you, for any reason you feel differently to what I've just said, and you're gonna say no, he's been shit, then honestly let me know what you've been smoking and what you've been drinking, because I would not mind a tote on that shit. Anyway, Man United play this weekend. I've already said I think we'll win. Will I do a score prediction? Of course I will. I'm going for 4 of the finest. 4-0. Doing goal scorers and all that. But Bruno Fernandes, what a player, what a signing. Man United just need to add a few more players like this into the mix, and I'm not saying we're going to win the league. We'll certainly be back challenging, and Liverpool will not be pissing the league like they did this season. Makes it very, very interesting. A lot of rival fans are taking the piss out of us at the minute, because they're all saying, look at United, all getting giddy about a top 4 finish. Well, unfortunately, that's where we are at the minute. We've got Bruno Fernandes. Look at the shit that we've had in the middle of that park over the years since Sir Alex Ferguson left. The likes of Schweinsteiger. You know, Schweinsteiger was great when he was in his mid-20s. Absolutely adored him as a footballer. Can't sign him in his 30s when he's past it. Schneiderlin. Morgan Schneiderlin. Remember him? Yeah. Belter. Enjoy the weekend. If you've fired a super chat in, then the finest of fair play to you. The pubs reopen tomorrow on Saturday. And I bet everyone was thinking Kev will be queuing up to get in his local at 12 o'clock. I won't. Something doesn't sit right with me. If I can't send my kids back to school who have been annoying the absolute fuck out of me for the last 3 months, then how can I go and mingle in a pub? Yeah? I'll give it a few weeks or so. Just have a few drinks at home, a few cans. Yeah? Oh yeah, that's how Kev works. And for United, at the weekend, as always, this is how we finish it. Come on, United! A bit this up! Come on! Bit of spit as well.
I said your love, keep on lifting me higher and higher.
Thanks very much for watching the video. You can also follow me on these other social media platforms. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, plenty of fish. Oh yeah! Thanks to everybody who gets involved, comments, likes, shares, subscribes. Subscribing is the main thing. It costs you nothing, and why wouldn't you want to do it? This is ManUtd VanCam.